Hey all. Today I'm going to talk to you about drawing with value. So value has to do with the lights and darks of a picture, and it really can make your picture look more realistic. Today I'm going to start by drawing a circle. So when you have a circle, you can create what's called a value sphere. So with a value sphere, the first thing you want to establish is where your light's coming from. So that would be your light source. So when you have your light source, it is shining on your object. So I'm going to turn the circle into a sphere. So the light source is coming in this way, so I know that the shadow is going to be in the opposite direction. So I can draw an oval for my shadow, and I can start using my pencil to create different shades. So if it's over here, it's going to be really light. Now over on the other side, that is where we're going to start adding our shades. So right now I'm using the side of the pencil and I'm kind of making this motion, and I am using it to just make my shadow. So you can use it this way, or you can also do it this way and draw your shadows in. So I'm starting off by putting my darker shadows in here, and now I can come back in later and add darker shadows if I want. So I am adding in my shadows and putting that in there. I can use my finger to smear some of the graphite on there, and this does two things. One, it smooths it, and two, it makes a new value shade. The graphite that's left on your finger can be used and will create a lighter shade. So it's something that you can kind of go back and forth on. You can do it at the end. It's up to you. Now it's important to note that the side should definitely be where your darkest is, plus the shading underneath. So that's when I'm going to add lots of pressure and have that value be the darkest value that I can have it be. Having it underneath really makes it settle on and look more 3D. The less pressure you use, the lighter it is. So when it comes to having it over here, it can really help make it look more gradual. When I create value spheres, I tend to like using a lot of blending and a lot of overlapping, and just slowly adding the value where I see fit, and growing on top of it. And then again, you can come with your finger. Now, if you kind of curve your finger and you kind of make this motion, you can have it curve with the sphere as well. And that can make it have the effect of looking more round, which is useful because it's a sphere. Now, sometimes you might overdo it, so you can add light in by erasing. You can also use your eraser as a drawing tool. So I can make little reflections using my eraser, and then it can kind of create a bit of a shiny effect, which is pretty cool. I can even exaggerate that a little bit more by just adding a little bit of shade underneath. That way. So there's a few other blending techniques. So besides using your finger, you can also use a tissue. So you can use a tissue to blend in the graphite as well. So the tissue is really good for creating a very soft and smoky effect. Now, obviously, I don't recommend using said tissue on your nose after you're using it, just for drawing purposes once there's a bunch of graphite on it. You can experiment, try new things, use different texture, different shadows. Experiment, go from the darkest of darks and slowly lighten it. and practice using different values with graphite.